भज राधे गोविंद भज राधे गोविंद भज राधे गोविंद भज राधे गोविंद 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 Krishna 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 Jai Jai Hare Rama 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 Jai Jai Hare Krishna 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 Jai Jai Hare Rama 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 Jai Jai Hare Krishna 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 Jai Jai Hare Rama 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 Jai Jai Hare Krishna 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 Jai Jai Hare Rama 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 Jai Jai Hare Krishna 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 Jai Jai Hare Rama 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 Jai Jai Hare Krishna 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 Jai Jai Mohana Mohana Muralidhara Mohana Muralidhara मोहना मुरलीधरा मोहना मुरलीधरा मोहना मुरलीधरा मोहना मुरलीधरा कृष्णा गोविंद कृष्णा कृष्णा गोविंद कृष्णा मन मोहना मोहना कृष्णा मुरलीधरा मोहना मुरलीधरा कृष्णा मुरलीधरा मोहना मुरलीधरा कृष्णा गोविंद कृष्णा कृष्णा गोविंद कृष्णा मन मोहना मोहना कृष्णा मुरलीधरा मोहना मुरलीधरा कृष्णा मुरलीधरा मोहना मुरलीधरा कृष्णा गोविंद कृष्णा कृष्णा गोविंद कृष्णा मन मोहना मोहना कृष्णा मुरलीधरा मोहना मुरलीधरा कृष्णा मुरलीधरा मोहना मुरलीधरा कृष्णा गोविंद कृष्णा कृष्णा गोविंद कृष्णा मन मोहना मोहना कृष्णा मुरलीधरा मोहना मुरलीधरा कृष्णा मुरलीधरा मोहना मुरलीधरा कृष्णा गोविंद कृष्णा कृष्णा गोविंद कृष्णा मन मोहना मोहना कृष्णा मुरलीधरा मोहना मुरलीधरा कृष्णा मुरलीधरा मोहना मुरलीधरा कृष्णा मुरलीधरा मोहना मुरलीधरा कृष्णा मुरलीधरा मोहना मुरलीधरा मुरली मनोहरा गोपाला आनन्दनन्दना गोपाल मुरली मनोहरा गोपाला आनन्दनन्दना गोपाल मुरली मनोहरा गोपाला आनन्दनन्दना गोपाल मीरा के माधवा गोपाला राधा हृदयेश्वरा गोपाला मीरा के माधवा गोपाला राधा हृदयेश्वरा गोपाला नंद सुनंदना गोपाला आनंद नंदना गोपाला मुरली मुरली मनोहरा गोपाला आनंद नंदना हे मायाधीश्वरा गोपाला हे वैकुंठेश्वरा गोपाला हे मायाधीश्वरा गोपाला हे वैकुंठेश्वरा गोपाला गोपी जनरंजना गोपाला आनंद नंदना गोपाला मुरली मनोहरा गोपाला आनंद नंदना गोपाला गोविंद कृष्ण हरि ओम गोपाल कृष्ण हरि गोविंद कृष्ण हरि ओम गोपाल कृष्ण हरि देवकी नंदन केशव माधव देवकी नंदन केशव माधव नारायणाय हरि गोविंद कृष्ण हरि ओम गोपाल कृष्ण हरि गोविंद कृष्ण हरि ओम गोपाल कृष्ण हरि देवकी नंदन केशव माधव देवकी नंदन केशव माधव नारायणाय हरि ओम गोविंद कृष्ण हरि ओम गोपाल कृष्ण 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 हरि गोविंद कृष्ण हरि गोपाल कृष्ण हरि
Om Satchidananda Brahma Purushotama Paramatma Shri Bhagavati Samhita Shri Bhagavate Namaha Om Satchidananda Brahma Purushotama Paramatma Shri Bhagavati Samhita Shri Bhagavate Namaha Om Satchidananda Brahma Purushotama Shri Bhagavati Samhita Shri Bhagavate Namaha Shri Bhagavati Samhita Shri Bhagavate Namaha.
Prachi, can you hear me? Yes.
We need one space for Ananta, please. The hangout is full right now.
Okay,
I
okay, okay.
I can let you know as soon as there's space.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Thank you, hon.
Shri Bhagavati Samhita Shri Bhagavate Namaha Shri Bhagavate Namaha Shri Bhagavate Namaha.
O Lord of Vrindavan, give me your darshan. Shower your grace upon this lonely one. O Lord of Vrindavan, give me your darshan. Shower your grace upon this lonely one. When will you come, Krishna? When will you come, Krishna? When will you come? When will you come, Krishna? When will you come? When will you come, Krishna? Let the beauty of my Lord ever fill this heart with love, everywhere and evermore. Bhagavan Krishna, Bhagavan Krishna. O Lord of Vrindavan, give me your darshan. Shower your grace upon this lonely. O Lord of Vrindavan, give me your darshan. Shower your grace upon this lonely. When will you come, Krishna? When will you come, Krishna? When will you? Let the glory of your clear never leave his lips again. Never sing your holy name. Bhagavan Krishna, Bhagavan Krishna. O Lord of Vrindavan, give me your darshan. Shower your grace upon this lonely one. O Lord of Vrindavan, give me your darshan. Shower your grace upon this lonely. When will you come, Krishna? When will you come, Krishna? When will? Let me cry and pray and call for a life of serving all. Everything I do is for Bhagavan Krishna, Bhagavan Krishna. O Lord of Vrindavan, give me your darshan. Shower your grace upon this lonely. O Lord of Vrindavan, give me your darshan. Shower your grace upon this lonely. When will you come, Krishna? 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 When will Krishna? When will you come? Krishna, now you are. Krishna, now you are. Om Namah Shivaya. 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 Shivaya Namah. Namah Shivaya. Om 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 Namah Shivaya.
पानी बदल के करती है ना रेखा?
Thank you, my dear. Namaste everyone. Very warm welcome to Satsang this morning. Sadhguru Shri Muji Ji ki Jai. Actually, what leads to the biggest doubts is the sheer simplicity of this. Because the mind will keep saying, is that it? It's just this. No. Either know that he is hiding something, he's not giving me the full truth, or maybe he also doesn't know it. See? But I heard from some other master that this happens actually. Our ideas about our freedom seem like they are an obstacle into seeing the freedom that is now. Just like our ideas about anyone that we meet seem to prevent an actual meeting as one. So our ideas about anything are not helpful anymore. Especially not helpful in the recognition of the self. Definitely not helpful in the end of conditioning. Conditioning is made up of just ideas. Just now it is so pristine. Just at the beginning of Satsang, I can sense the mind also starting to warm up. Oh, this is what he's talking about today. Let's come up. What do we have about this? So then it'll start offering you, but what about this? What about this? And if it fails to offer you things about this, what is being spoken, then it can offer you other things. What about that email I was supposed to send? How is my family feeling? Something. And we have all seen this now. We've all seen this now. And I feel that we've made it very simple here. Because I'm not saying that we have to get into some sort of a war with our attention. I'm not saying the mind is saying you just don't look at it, fight it. If you can do that, then nothing better. If you can just ignore the mind into oblivion, then nothing better. But that is also not a prerequisite, because it is not just our attention which goes to these thoughts, it is also our belief. And we must all see by now, we must contemplate these things. What is the difference between attention and belief? What is attention? What is belief? What does attention engage with? What can belief engage with? For example, attention can engage with objects, but can belief also engage with objects, phenomenal objects? Belief only engages with one type of object, which is thoughts. So, we must be able to now discern between all these energies which lead to our seeming participation in this realm, as if I am a person. It's not without effort that this can happen. So the effort is in actually picking up the person, not the dropping of the person. So once we start looking at these forces, attention, belief, intention, leading to identity, then we come to the core of what we are speaking about. What is it that is here right now? Who is here? And my question is not to get you to label it very quickly who is here. Just to label it a God because I say so is not helpful. Although it might be better than labeling it a me. Just the label God is not enough. What is it that is here now? Hasn't this always been? For any time that we can say always, isn't that what is here now? Hasn't this always been? Without any label. Without the concept of something missing, there is nothing missing. The good news is that without the concept of bondage, there is freedom. And without the concept of freedom, there is freedom. Even with the concept of bondage, actually it is freedom. But it doesn't seem like it. So don't activate that urge. Because the mind is now warmed up. Sure, it's coming up with some stuff. So don't activate that urge to believe what it is saying. This power belongs to you. not you personally. Your belief is one of your primal powers as God, as consciousness. So that's it then. Simple as that.
Hello, Father.
Hello, my dear.
Yeah, Father, I just wanted to tell you, sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, Father, I just don't feel like doing anything at all. And whatever I try to do requires so much of effort. I really don't know what to do, and my condition is like deteriorating each day. And the people around are so worried about me.
So yesterday you said that I surrender my power of belief to you.
Yes, Father.
Or did you take it back or what happened? Okay, let me speak about this for a bit. Because it can seem like for a while, as we are surrendering our belief in the mind, they can seem like, for most of us actually, it happened here also, that the interest in worldly activities, worldly socialization, worldly work seems to reduce. Even here for many months, there was no sense of wanting to work, wanting to do something social, and actually there was very little concern about it also. There was very little concern about it also. But when I saw the family, my wife, my parents, they would come and say, "So, what's happening now? What's happening about your work? What happened to you? You had so much fire for work. You did such a big conference before you went to Thiru. Now, something happening? Are you sending emails all day, or what are you doing on the computer?" These kind of questions were coming, and that was being registered. So one day, actually, I wrote a mail to Guruji and said, "Thank you so much. Everything seems so clear, but there's no interest in any sort of work. The only, and jokingly, I was half jokingly actually, I also said, the only interest that seems to remain at that time, it's funny now that I look at it, the only interest that seems to remain is in watching cricket." Now, actually, even that is not so much. Very little of that is also. But that time I wrote to him that, the only I don't feel like working and what's happening, and the family is very concerned. But I am very happy right now. So he said that tell Garima to trust that what is happening with you cannot be bad for anyone around you. It is only going to bring grace and auspiciousness in everyone's life. And he said that this is a very natural way in which this happens. this seeming lack of interest in phenomenal activities. Then after a few weeks, after this email interaction, I noticed that just there was more life energy, life force that came for work. But it did not seem like my work. It did not seem like I have to do this. It just became a flow. The things were flowing, just like this. They were just flowing. Just like we share satsang, we put on the computer, join the hangout, log on to YouTube, read the chat messages, we hear what the others are saying. So to the mind, even this can seem like a lot of work, but it is known that it is just happening here. To give responses to the mind can seem like work, or you're working for 3 hours every day, you're sharing satsang. No, just like the questions are heard, the answers are also heard. So this sense of me doing something, that is gone. And I can tell you that even the byproducts of this, letting go of the mind, is very beautiful, because the number of arguments in my marriage have reduced to very, very almost non-existent. Which I thought would be mythical, to have a marriage and not argue. Now I see it is happening. There's so much more acceptance, so much more peace. Of course, momentarily something can come. The, the relationships with my children, family, everything seems to be quite peaceful, quite going on its own very beautifully. Even with work, nothing seems to phase me. Got one project, lost one project, did something well, didn't do something well. All of this does not seem to really matter so much. Same for my investing. Some stocks do well, some don't do well, ups and downs. It's all okay. So it is not that all the activities have stopped, but the fear, the greed about it, the doership about it, the wanting a particular outcome, the wanting to be right, the guilt, the regret, remorse, pride, all of this has fallen off. So sometimes some of you might have this impression that we're really hardcore or something. We just want you to suffer and let go of the mind, and then your life will be terrible, but you don't care. We don't care about it. It's not like that. Nobody wants their children to suffer in any, even the phenomenal way. You see? Would I want you to have terrible relationships? Would I want your children to suffer? No, why would I? You see? But I know that the root of this is just this belief in our mind. You see? So as we let go of our belief in our thoughts, in all these byproducts, which I don't talk about so often because it becomes an expectation, but it is inevitable that you will be surrounded by the presence of love, peace, and joy without any concern about their coming and going. It is not possible for those who have given up on their identity, on their mind. It is not possible, at least it is unheard of, for that appearance to be not surrounded by the appearance of peace, love, bliss, joy. And they are allowed to move about in their own beautiful way. So nobody can say, I'm constantly feeling this love, constantly. If you're constantly feeling it, then you'll stop recognizing it. Just like the taste in our mouths. You don't recognize what it is. It seems like it's neutral. Till we eat some sugar or some salt or some spice. But I'm sure in the sensors, if there was some taste sensor equipment, then what is there in the mouth naturally will have some taste. So that which is constantly present, then we feel that that has no value. So therefore the phenomenal play of love, peace and joy can continue. The mind says, but this should become a constant. Getting a taste of it now, this should stay and then I will give myself the freedom certificate. It's not that. It's only about the right now. Only about the right now. There is only this now. So like you said yesterday, I surrender my power of belief to you. Now don't take it back. Is it? Because when you surrender the power of belief in the mind, then your intuition, the Sadguru, comes and takes your hand. So if you want to make a journey out of it, then give one hand to the mind and one hand to the Guru. Then you'll go wobbling like this. Sometimes attracted to the mind, sometimes attracted to the Guru. Like this, you'll be wobbling on this journey. But if you don't want journey, you've had enough of all of this. Then don't take back the power of your belief. Because belief is given only to the false. The truth does not need belief. That which is does not need to be believed to come into existence. That which is does not need the power of belief to come into existence. It is prior to belief. That which never is, needs the power of belief to pretend to exist. So that Prachi which never is relies only on the concepts you have about yourself. But that God which you are is not reliant on any belief. It just is. I am. It does not need to be believed I am. It needs to be believed I am something. I am is prior to belief. Can you say I am something without believing?
No.
Something like this. So just I am. You cannot even say I am not without a belief. Because your natural state is I am. So stay like this. Give it some time. And you will find that all the byproducts of this freedom also will start showing up. But have no rush about that. Have no expectation about that. And you'll find joy in the strangest of places now. In the seeming mundane to the mind, you will find the greatest joy because the mind has the habit of making everything mundane. You can be flying in an airline so many feet above the ground, the clouds are under you, but for the frequent flyers, that has become so mundane. We can be in a hangout like this, which was not possible 10 years ago, with apparent beings from all over the world, all continents, all countries, sharing together like this one satsang. But the mind will make this also mundane. So don't give it to the mind because, as my master says, it will put mud into everything. But you will find joy as you let go of this mind. You will find joy in everything. So don't make it a short-term surrender. You surrendered your belief yesterday, you keep it surrendered for some time at least. Then you come after a few weeks and say, no, it doesn't work. Then I'm happy to have that conversation with you. If you then come to me and say, no, it doesn't work. I didn't pick up a thought for a few weeks and see there is no peace. I'm more confused. If you then come and say, then we can, then I'm very happy to look. Because you have come to this auspicious point where you said that I surrender my power of belief itself to you. Not even surrendering the next thought, the power of belief itself. Then you cannot truly speak to me about any trouble.
Yeah, Father. Uh, I had a very strange experience. Once I was attending a satsang with Ramdas ji, and I don't know, I felt as if I was sitting, the body was sitting, but the consciousness was bowing
Yeah.
at Ramdas ji's feet. So, what was that? Was it a hallucination or really something happened?
It's very beautiful if consciousness was bowing down to itself. But right now, don't try to make any conclusion about it. Don't go with any even esoteric experience. Don't interpret them. Just let it be. Don't make any conclusion even about this. Because sometimes, you see, what happens is the mind first tries with the mundane. The mind first tries with the mundane. Then the mind tries to say, okay, but what was that? See, that was not mundane. That was something very spiritual and special and beautiful. So don't even buy into that for now. It's a beautiful spiritual experience. It was enjoyed as beautiful prasad. Don't have to think about it. Don't have to make any conclusions about it.
Thank you, Father.
Something really wants to, though, Father. Sorry.
Hello, Father.
Hello, my dear. Just give me a second. You want to say something? Do you think something really wants to?
Maker. What did she say?
I'm as bad as you.
Yeah.
Answer it.
Something really wants to make a conclusion about it. And it's definitely a personal feeling. Really like this is happening to me. But I know it's not true. But why is it doing like this so much? Like suddenly so personal and experiencing the facade, and then suddenly just not located anywhere. Just energies flowing and playing through, and then back to the personal and feeling contraction and separation, and then again,
The broadening.
everything is just flowing, and it's so inconsistent and just so unpredictable. And one moment I'm there as a person, and the next moment there is no person, it's just the energies flowing. And there's nothing I can do. Even inquiry, if that happens, is just happening, and I can't actually think, oh, I'm going to inquire now, because that thought is also just coming out of. So it doesn't seem like there's anything I can actually do, even when I'm in the personal state. So what do I do?
Yes, you want to be in the queue? Okay. So that which you're calling the personal state, is it a state which has some belief? There is, what I get is that there seems to be a sense of containment within the body, which you are calling the personal state, and then the sense that a much broader, bigger, spacious than that. The body maybe, expanding on what you're saying, seems to be contained within that, is a non-personal state. Is that the way you're defining it?
It's not even that it's not just in the body, it's just that there's just the knowing of what the truth is without that personal contraction.
Yes, so this personal contraction is which? This one. Take the mind.
So when the personal energy is there, it's it's just this feeling of separation and belief in you and I to be separate, and there to be some sort of feelings and thoughts that are being believed in that are causing contractions in the body, and they're interpreted as being bad or shouldn't be there. But then sometimes that can also happen when I'm resting as myself. They can also be there, but it doesn't affect me. So there seems to be like these different phases almost. That's not the right word, but different phases of this kind of swimming into personhood, to consciousness, to I just can't. There's no putting my finger on it. There's just that I feel like I've got nothing to stand on, and there's just this play of like personhood, and it just like this.
So, few things I feel are important to say about this. One is that energetically, there can be a sense of contraction and there can be a sense of expansion. In the energetic sense of contraction and expansion, there is no personhood. It is just the energetic movement of seeming contraction and seeming expansion. But if you were to look at in what space is that contraction and expansion happening, we find that that space is never really contracted, nor is it really expanding. So some energetic movement is happening within the space of my being, and the mind comes in with the rush to label, see, now you're a person, now you're space, or you're being. So without that, it is seen as just another energetic movement within the space of my being. There seems to be this contracting sensation, and there seem to be these expanding sensations. So I am not contracting or expanding. Contraction and expansion is happening inside me, inside my space. Are we together in this so far? So then you say that it is the belief in my thoughts, the play of this mind, which gets me contracted, and it is the letting go of this belief which seems to get to my expansion. But many times you will find that just the contraction happens, and then some thoughts come about it, which might be believed or even not. So the energetic movement and the energetic movement of thoughts about these movements are actually independent, but they seem like they are intertwined. So it could be that the thought comes first, and if some belief goes, then it might seem like the energetic contraction also happens. It might be that the energetic contraction happens first, and then the thought can come as simple as saying, oh, now you're back to a person again. You shouldn't have done that, something like that. And then it can seem like it's all interrelated. Therefore, easier to say that all of this has one cause, which is consciousness, your own being. And they can come like the obstacles in Mario Brothers, just randomly. On Donkey Kong, sometimes barrels, sometimes fire, sometimes something. So, as we stop trying to make any sense of them, you will see that all of them are just energetic movements appearing within me. And I, as being, as consciousness, am unchanging, am unmoved. I am not expanding or contracting. These sensations of contraction, these sensations of expansion seem to be going. Actually, expansion mostly is nothing but the loosening of the sensations of contraction. Because we are naturally expansive. So, for most of us, it is that we have taken the sensations of the body and the visual that the mind gives us about the body to make some sort of a boundary of our being. But as we see that these sensations of the body, all the imagined visuals about the body are also appearing within the same space of consciousness. And as we discover that this space is boundaryless, then although the sensations of contraction and expansion might continue to happen, you will not feel like I am contracting and I am expanding.
Sometimes it isn't personal contraction or expansion though. It's just, it is sometimes like the person, feeling that contraction energy and that, but also it happens like from that greater space. There's a contraction and an expansion as well. And it's like...
Yes, but even whatever the contraction and expansion is, it is in the space of being. It is not of the being itself, isn't it?
But it doesn't affect anything when I'm seeing from my true place.
Yes.
But when I'm in person state, that's when like the suffering happens. And my question is, what to do when you're in that personal state, because there doesn't seem to be any access to be able to look from the truth, because there's the thought just isn't arising to say, who are you? It just doesn't come, because there's so many veils and layers of personhood and identity.
So mostly when we are caught like this, even the sense that I can do something is not there.
Yeah.
But the first thing you can do, when the sense that I can do something comes, is a secret, I'll tell you.
Come here.
Don't believe your next thought. So mostly this, when we seem to be caught up, then the sense that I can do something itself is not there, but it comes. And when it comes, if this can register with you, that I'm not to believe what my mind is saying, then very quickly it can dissolve.
Father, there's still preferencing happening, like preferencing for the bliss states and for,
There's a preference to have bliss.
Yeah, because it's been like the predominant feeling here since I got to Bangalore, just floating along in this river of just your bliss, and obviously moments of course, but when, say, like the past few days, this kind of cloud of just sleep and tiredness, and there's been like this definite preferencing happening for the bliss to come back. But even when it's being observed from the true place, there's still a preference, which makes me feel like.
Okay, so let's look together at this. You say even when I look from the true place, there is a preference. How does that? How does the mechanics of that function? So you're looking as awareness at this sense I am, and one of the byproducts of this is bliss, or there is no byproduct called bliss. So let's see now where is the preference?
It's not the preference
Yeah.
of the true place, it's the preference of the person, but that is observed from the true place. And it's like observing the person wanting that.
Yeah.
So I guess when I'm looking.
Yes, but let's break down this phrase, the person wanting that.
Yeah.
What does that imply? How can the person want it? So right now, no person. There's awareness, and there's a sense of being, consciousness, and then one of the energies from this consciousness called bliss is either there or not there. Now, person wanting bliss is born how?
True idea.
Through the idea this should always be like this.
Yeah.
Or where is the bliss?
Yeah.
Something like this. Both these ideas come. Then attention can also go.
Yeah.
Then
and I guess it's the attention also going to past referencing, and then a comparison being made of energy coming off, and it'll be like the attention going back to a memory of the bliss and comparing the two.
So attention is flickering between memory of the past and the current state.
Yeah.
Okay, then attention is flickering. Yeah.
And there's seeing that the preference is obviously for the bliss state.
Is it automatic? So if attention was flickering, so some memory, memory. Even in this, automatically is the preference born?
So I'm jumping to the answer, but I haven't actually looked at the question properly. Can you repeat it for me?
So you say that when it's like this, then there can be referencing of the past.
Yeah.
So which means that attention goes to some memory of bliss.
Yeah.
So the visuals are coming of bliss, or the sensations are coming, and then it goes back to now. It seems so dry. So going between this dry and this bliss. So it's flickering between these two. And then preference comes how? Is in
the mind makes a decision to say, I want that.
I want that.
And I guess by that point I'm identified.
Yes. And if you're able to let go of this, I want that, it doesn't remain as a preference. It seems too strong for us not to believe that. I want that.
It just seems like the sensations in the body are so strong. Just like, oh, I want to get out. I want to get out of this.
Yeah. But without this commentary about the sensations. Suppose the mind forgot to give you the interpretation, and the body is just like that.
Yeah.
Then what would happen?
But I've looked at this, like, so I get pins and needles, and there's an obvious, like, wanting to move away from that sensation.
Yes, but that is not personal. Because as long as the sensation, while actually, but there was some joy even in this pins and needles.
It's true.
Yeah?
It's true.
And this was experience, and then there's just a movement that happens. So we can say that consciousness itself is done with that tasting of that experience, and the seeming movement of the body happens. But that which does not rely on thought activity to make conclusions, because the thought and your belief in the thought actually cannot do anything. This is a crucial point, because we feel that It is the decision which actually caused something to move. It's more like the movement is happening, and then there's a pretend decision maker who said, good decision, bad decision, want this, not this. This was good, this was bad. I was good, I was bad. All of this comes from there. Happening on their own. So this flow is happening on its own. So irrespective of the preference, you will only get what the chef has cooked up for you. You might want the chef has made Caesar salad, you will only get Caesar salad. You might even decide that I'm going to move, I'm going to walk about, but the body is not moving. You might decide I just want to sit at one place, meditate or something. If the body wants to go, get a snack. So this, see if there's a correlation you're making between the so-called decision and the actual activity which is appearing in this realm. And you find that the activity of thought and the activity of body are both activities just of consciousness. So if consciousness has a preference to be in bliss, then it will be in bliss as much as it likes.
And I've been noticing this. There are so many different plays just happening. Just so many different energies of just everything is just playing out, and there seems to be no standard anymore of the way this one acts.
Yes.
It's really there's nothing to stand. There's just one moment in energy of just confidence or something will arise, and then an energy of insecurity, and there's just no graduation between the two.
Yes.
It's like crazy bipolar energy of just everything is just playing.
Isn't nice? When we lose our legs to stand on, then we lose all our standards.
Yeah, I feel like I've one minute I'm vegan, the next minute I'm eating cheese, and it's just everything is just going, and it's
This is a good report.
Yeah, it's good. It's good, but it's also the same for I can be really lost in some sort of story playing out, and then suddenly I'll just sit and wake up and just be oh God,
what is that about?
Oh yeah, but it really seems like there's. It just really seems like I've just woken up from a dream, and no matter how painful or how strange it's been or how blissful it's been, I'm always just here, and I was just fell asleep, and that was just a dream, but then something will pull. There'll be this energy of go play again, and then something will enter back into the world and play as this character, and they'll either be identifying or they'll not be. But it's becoming more and more clear that I'm dreaming, really. But yet there's still this heavy identity and so much conditioning that's being brought up. And was there a point with you? I know it's different, but was there a point where the conditioning still came up and was being burnt, but yet you were constantly just remaining as yourself and not being identified? Or did you have to identify for the conditioning to be burnt?
This is a good one. So she says, was there a point where conditioning was being burned, but you were not identifying with it? I don't feel so.
What do you mean?
I mean that the sense of something burning is that sense of identification itself burning.
Yeah.
So it is the giving meaning to that itself which is burning. So otherwise it will not feel like burning. It will just come like this wonder, oh, there is this, still this idea which is left, and it just goes like a cloud. It cannot burn. When you say burning, that it is being identified and it is burning at that point. It is being taken away, it seems like. See, that's what gives that feeling of burning. Otherwise, what happens very often, what used to happen much more often is that just, you know, we used to have this, I used to have this when I was younger, called high-speed dubbing on these tapes that we would record. So you do the 4x dubbing and then all the songs would sound like Disney characters, like that. So the mind just became very, very, very fast. So you could sense that these tendencies are leaving, but it was not feeling like a sense of burning. It just felt like some high-speed cleanup is happening. The only one that still remained and maybe remains to some extent even now is in my marriage, partner. So, in those times, it feel something might still come and say, "This is so unfair. Why is she behaving like this?" So those were the times where it felt like a burn. But otherwise, it is so on its own.
I feel like that's also coming up here as well. It's just that I spent so much time alone and just had so much space for everything just to come up. And now it's like when you're reflecting into another person, it's so, everything is just so in your face, and just like there is this feeling of wanting to just be alone and just hide
So
from that.
to understand what you're saying, you were alone and now you're in a relationship. That's why you're saying.
Yeah, and there's just this feeling of just like the mirror being too close, too much, too reflective.
What are the biggest buttons that get pushed? Sorry.
I can't say it's anyone.
Because sometimes it can be especially challenging. Mostly it's helpful when you're in a relationship with someone in the Sangha, but sometimes it can be very challenging also. Because it can seem like both are trying to live up to some ideal of perfect spirituality or something like that.
I don't know. I just have nothing to stand on, and there's just everything is coming up, all like old insecurities and things like this, and it's just, I don't know. I don't even know if there's a question. I just felt like I had to
I feel
say.
it's very beautiful that both of you can come up and expose that this relationship is such a mirror. I found very beautiful when he exposed that he's upset with your previous boyfriend, although he was not at all in the picture even then, but he's still upset with him for being with you. The mind can be very, very tricky like that. It was a first actually. Even by Indian standards, it was quite very traditional, super traditional.
I feel like I'm just going all over the place right now, but there's like so much to just want to just express, and just this. I don't know. The whole devotion thing as well. I felt it was so much devotion, and then suddenly, like when I started seeing it more consistently throughout the day, and there was all of these trigger points of reminding me of you're not this, you're not this, like just remain as the truth. There was less devotion coming, and I feel like something wanted to identify, to feel that devotional love towards you as a separate entity. And I'm grateful to be identified when that love and devotion comes, because it's so beautiful. But I know also it's just not true, but I'm sorry, I enjoy it.
Actually, just like this love, which comes in celebration to your own being, the most auspicious and the most beautiful form of this love, which comes to celebrate your own presence, is this devotion. So I don't feel like we lose it or it's false or something like this. It's just that it becomes so natural. And you realize that even this devotion is a child of consciousness. And actually, consciousness remains independent even of this. And yet, devotion has nowhere else to go. So, the purpose is to be in service to your presence. So, as you recognize your own presence in your master, this devotion is there. And also, what happens is, as you go along, our ability to assimilate also increases. So, it seems like very often I've said that initially there was this constant grin which was stuck on my face. For a long time, it was just like that. Even some of you were there in Satsang a few years ago, you'll notice that it was just like this, and then a question would come, and then the answer would come very like this, and then the grin would be back. So it's like the Joker in Batman or something, it was just stuck like that. And then, why? Because there's so much joy which is being experienced that you feel like nothing can contain it, even the body is.
I feel like that too.
And then as we assimilate it more and more, it is not that the joy of it reduces, it is just that it so becomes so natural that it seems contained. And yet these moments can come where it seems so out of control. Don't worry about devotion. Devotion knows what it's doing. There is nothing that anyone can do about creating more love or devotion, more peace or joy.
Father, is there anything you want to ask me or probe me about, or I don't know.
No, I feel you're doing very well.
Like there's any hiding happening anymore. Like I don't feel like there's a need to try and I don't know. It's just I don't feel there's any. Well, right now I can only say that I don't feel there's any kind of being scared of what you could ask me.
Very
So I kind of want you to ask me now before any scared energy
back.
comes.
Maybe the question will come for that energy. It's very good actually, because there can be this sense that I wonder what he thinks about me, whether he knows, something about me, or whether he realizes something about me. But it doesn't matter at all what I think about you. Because thoughts here are as unimportant as thoughts anywhere. What I know is that we are one. It's all just one being.
Hello, Father.
Hello, my dear.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm very good. Just give us a second to fix this.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
So I have a couple of questions for you. I'll
Yeah.
ask my most important burning question first.
Yeah.
Uh, so lately, I've just been there's this gut feeling that's coming up where, because of the self-inquiry and because of um, sort of disidentifying with the person, somehow this idea is coming up and it feels like something in the gut, but it could be my mind and I'm not sure, where it's like I feel really connected to things like nature and plants and animals, but at the same time there's some frustration also coming up because I feel like there's a veil that I can't pierce through to, like, because I see these things and I, at some level, I know that it's just part of my consciousness and we're all part of a singular consciousness, but there's some veil that is preventing me from fully seeing that. And I think that the what I wanted to ask you was, maybe I don't know, maybe if you can walk me through the inquiry exercise, because I was thinking about what you said the other day, where I watched that clip a few times when we were talking, and I get to this point in the inquiry where I ask, who am I, and sit with the question, and then, I experience some silence and some peace and some, like I'm dropping all the concepts and stuff comes up and I'm dropping them, and then there's some peace, but then after, like, I feel like I hit a wall, and maybe these two things are interrelated, where there's this veil that I can't pierce through, and then, there's this wall that I hit in the inquiry that I can't seem to get beyond. So um, I was hoping maybe you can provide me like something to get beyond this.
Okay. Let's look together for some time.
Okay.
Let's start at this point, which is familiar to all of us, which is the appearance of thoughts. So just simply allow the next thought to appear. Don't be concerned about what it is saying. Notice that you are aware of these thoughts, and you are aware of the space between thoughts. You are, whether the thought is present or not, you are. Who am I that is aware of thoughts and is aware when there are no thoughts? Now bring your attention to any that might be experienced. If you can't find an emotion, then bring your attention to any sensation which is experienced now. Notice that you are aware of the sensation. The sensation is not aware of you. And whether the sensation is present or absent, you remain. Now notice the sense that I am here. The sense that I exist. The feeling of existence. That I am. Who am I that is aware even of this presence? That is aware of the sense that I exist. The I that is aware, what do I look like? At what distance am I from this awareness? Is there anywhere where awareness is, but I am not? As all these objects appear and disappear, the seeming outer objects of the world, as well as the seeming inner objects of thoughts, memories, imagination, emotion, sensation. I am aware of all of these. They are not aware of me. Who am I? Can I be an object? Then who would be aware of me as an object? Without this awareness, nothing exists. How far am I from this awareness? What is most original to me except to be this awareness? Who am I? Am I that which is being seen, or am I the seeing itself? Who am I? What are my attributes? Is there something about me that doesn't come and go? Who am I? I remain as the witness to all that is appearing and disappearing. How do I witness myself? Does this witness have a name? Does it have a form? Does it have any attribute at all? Who am I? If I am something, I must have at least one attribute. But I have no color, shape, size, name. And I am aware as awareness itself. I am aware of the presence of peace yet I am unconcerned by it. I remain as the awareness itself. That which is coming and going does not touch me. I remain as the witnessing of that. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. It's kind of hard to get out of that right now. I almost don't want to come out of it. um, I was able to confirm that all those things that were coming up, uh, Like I was that bubble that all of those things that were coming up in, for sure. Uh, and there was an expansion,
And
and
who is aware of the bubble?
right, right. Something was aware of even that, and there was joy and sadness and tears coming up at the same time, and something was aware of that. Um, but I hmm, there's a lot of thoughts also coming in, and I was able to sort of stay above that, you know. Um,
So
but I think,
our natural tendency is to report on the contents of the appearance.
right,
So our natural tendency is to report on the contents of the appearance, which means this happened, this came, this went, this was here, I had this position in relation to that. Now, what the true point of satsang is to look at this one that is aware of all of this appearance. Who is this one? The appearance could be anything. In this manifest world, the entire spectrum of appearances is present. So we're not so concerned about what is appearing or not. What can we say about that which witnesses this appearance?
right. But that's the thing. I can't say anything about it. It's just nothing.
Yes. Because it is
It's
no thing.
right, right.
So if I ask you, are you aware now? What is your answer?
Yes,
Yes. How do you know this?
I just do because I exist.
Is it? So you just do. Do you have to see an object to confirm that you are aware?
No,
You are prior to all objects. So this I that is aware is awareness aware of itself. It is the only non-phenomenal experience, although it is not an experience in the usual sense of the word. I know that I am aware. This I which knows I am aware, does it have any boundaries in relation to the awareness itself?
no, it certainly didn't couldn't find any boundaries.
No boundaries. No thing, no boundaries. Rest in this, because this is your unchanging reality. The substratum of all that is coming and going is this. This is unchanging. Whatever the mind might throw at you as resistance to this, let it come and go. Very good. Very
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bhavan, can you take it further now, beyond this? In the continuation, can you take it further?
Father, may I come? I've been next in the queue for a while.
Okay. Let's see. Just this silence is taking it further. So what Anilji can do is, if you like, just mute from now and just stay with that contemplation, because if you have the sense that it was going deep and you didn't want it to stop, then you don't need any more words for today. You just mute this satsang. But I know there are a few who have questions lined up. Some the queue is building fast, so we'll go to them. Okay, Lucia said she's been in the queue for a long time. She can come first.
Hi, Father. Thank you.
Hello.
There was an odd appearance I noticed before satsang today that apparently goes on before every satsang, but today I saw it for the very first time. And there's this sudden anxiety about where I should physically be sitting to get the most out of satsang. And it seems crazy to say this out loud, but this is what happens. Like I think, well, I should maybe I'll sit on my couch, or maybe I should sit on the chair, maybe I should sit at my desk, maybe I should sit on my bed, and I kind of run around the house for a little while trying to figure out where the best place to be, and I get really anxious. It's very odd, and I wanted to expose that because there is something else.
Sorry, I'm just having to stop you because the last thing I heard was there's this anxiety about where I should be sitting to get the most out of
Yes.
satsang, and then it just froze up. So you'll have to repeat the rest of
Okay.
it.
All right. So that was the beginning, and I sort of run around the house up before satsang, thinking, oh, maybe I should sit on the couch, or maybe I should sit in this chair, or maybe I should sit on my bed, or maybe I should sit on my desk, and it's this weird anxiety that happens, and I feel a little strange saying this out loud, because it sounds bizarre. But there's something else. There's something under it. So there's something here. Like I feel like I have to. Maybe I have to do it right, or it's a physical thing. And earlier when you were talking about the physical contraction and all that, I was trying to pay attention, but there was so much anxiety in me that I couldn't. So I wanted to expose that, and And it's funny when I'm watching other people in the Hangouts. They all look rather calm wherever they're sitting, and they don't move around. And lately I've actually been moving the computer around. Like I'll shut the camera off, and I move me and the computer around to see if I can find the best spot. And sometimes I drop the call because I'm doing that, and I don't know. I wanted to share that because I needed to get somehow more present. It feels like it's stopping me from being here.
It's actually best that you don't be concerned about this. That which brought you to satsang will also take care of where you have to sit. All this energetic stuff will be taken care of itself. Don't have to be concerned about it at all. Just all we have to do in satsang is just whatever sense of attention we can muster up. If we feel like we have some control over our attention, just to give it here in the satsang. That's all that's really needed. Everything else, actually even that, will take care of itself. Just that you're here is enough.
Sometimes I'm physically uncomfortable.
Yes.
And I just can't physically get comfortable. And I'm like, how am I going to get comfortable? And I start thinking, oh, I need to buy a this and I need to buy a that, like.
But is it only in satsang that you're physically uncomfortable in your house, or?
I fidget a lot, actually. I do move around a lot, and maybe that partly because I'm a dancer, so I'm moving. But there is a fidgeting about me. I do move around a lot. Yeah. It's hard for me to sit still. It's actually always hard for me to sit still. But I generally, if I'm sitting on the couch reading or I'm watching something, I feel comfortable. Or if I'm in bed and I'm watching something, I feel comfortable reading. Or I'm sitting at my dining room table, I'm comfortable. But it's noteworthy that I feel uncomfortable with satsang.
Then all you have to do is wherever you are normally comfortable, like your couch or your bed, you can use that space. You might find that this sort of energetic movement might start to settle as we go along. So as long as you're not trying to be comfortable where we are usually not comfortable, so if you find that you're usually quite comfortable in your couch, but something just very, moving about, dancing about during satsang time, then it's okay. Let the body also move about a little bit. You don't have to keep it very steady, or this is not vipassana or something. You don't have to have some major mastery over the movements of the body. Just relax. It's all fine.
I guess I'm trying really, really, really hard to, I don't know what, get it or something. Or lose it, get it, lose it, whatever that's supposed to happen here. I'm like
yes.
Trying extremely hard.
Yes. This plays out a bit. It's okay. We'll lose this also. We'll lose the trying to get it or fear of losing it. It's okay. Just don't be hard on yourself. Don't interpret your progress. Don't say, I'm getting it or not getting it. Just come to satsang very naturally, normally.
Sometimes it's hard to pay attention, literally to pay attention when you're talking with other people.
Yes.
And it doesn't matter whether it's in Hangouts or in the room there with you. It's like really, my mind is going crazy. Like I can't focus on what's going on. Sometimes I zero right in, and other times I'm like all over the place.
This is also, it is like that. I don't feel there's anyone who comes to satsang would have 100% attention to every word that is being spoken. So, even Guruji himself said that he used to have a very low attention span. It's all fine, it's all good. I used to be the worst spiritual student. You see, I would wake up one day and say, okay, I feel today that it's going to be the Hanuman Chalisa which will get me to freedom. See? So then I would just sit and obsessively keep reading it. Then after 2 hours, I'd say, okay, enough. No, I'm not meant for this. Maybe what I have to do is just inquire, who am I? Then I would do that all over the place. Every day it was some do the Sudarshan Kriya practice. Today I will do some pranayam. Today I will do something. It was just all over the place.
Yeah.
Don't worry so much. It's all part of the play.
Well, and I have been similar to that, where I've studied a number of different teachers, and they've all been great. But it's been like, okay, now I've really got to get this one. I've got to like master this. Okay, now I got to master that one. Now I got to master that one. Now I got to be here and then satsang. I have to find the most comfortable position for me, and have my computer at the right height. And oh, and it sounds so silly, but it's absolutely. There's something very strong about this.
All this also has to play out actually. All this also has to play out this way. I remember also with the Course in Miracles, I used to say, okay, now I'm going to start lesson 1 every day, come what may. In 365 days, I will do 365 lessons and finish the workbook. Yeah? And I did this starting from 1 at least 20 times. And the max I ever got to was 50, lesson 50. Like this. And at the Art of Living, they told me, if you do the Kriya for 90 days, you have to do continuously. If you lose one day, then you have to start from 1 again.
Right.
So we would have that. The maximum maybe I ever got to was 5 days or something. So I was not very good at this willpower thing and trying to do something and trying to keep attention.
Yeah. This is reminding me of how I tried to memorize for Allah. There's 108 names of the goddess that you chant. Then there's for Amma. Then there's 1,000 names of the Divine Mother, of which she is all of it, right? So I remember trying to memorize the 108 names. Much like I couldn't get to the 1,000 at all. I mean, not ever. I still haven't done it. So, and I kept trying over and over again, and have it on tape and listen to it in the car, and like chanting, and never got it. And I guess maybe that's another piece of this feeling like I have to get this right, is because, like I shared with you, she's here right now giving darshan. 25 minutes from my house, I could drive there, and there she is, and I could be in her arms, and I don't have the impulse to go. And it's the weirdest thing. After 13 years, maybe she released me, or I don't know what, but the impulse is just not there. And it's odd. And I think I am disturbed on a deep level, like, wait a minute. She was the love of my life for all these years, and she's my spiritual mother, and I know it's okay with her. It's fine. I don't need her. I know in my higher self that I don't need to be physically with her. I know she's with me, I'm with her, but I still feel very kind of a little at loose ends about it, It's like, what?
All of this dilemma, all of this seeming frustration, what's happening, has to just extinguish itself. So don't try to put a lid on it. Don't try to contain it. Don't just leave it be, whatever. Just leave your feet to your master. You see? So then it's the master's problem. Whether they move, whether they don't move, what happens, what doesn't happen. That's the best part about having a master.
But the master has many devotees or children. So
Yeah.
there's this insecurity about, am I really included in?
Yeah.
Everybody's laughing.
If the master is just Ananta, this form Ananta, or the form of Ama, if it is just that, then that is not the master. The master is your own being. You see? All of just playing as various forms of expression of your own presence. In fact, the entire world is playing as various expressions of your own being. So the most sublime, the most auspicious aspect of our being, of this play, is the play as the master, as the guru. That this name and form is it. We all say that this name and form, this expression is just leading you to the true Sadguru, to the true master, which is your own being. And your being is never crowded with too many students.
No, she's not.
I was just joking with the Sangha also, but because I recognize this feeling, you see, because with many I joined, the mind was saying that, but you joined much later. You should have been there right from the beginning. You see, even with Guruji, it was coming like this, that you should have been there right from the beginning. You should have been the one that found him in Brixton Market selling incense and chai. You see? So, you should have been the one that crossed him and said, yeah, about you, can we talk? Why was it Nataraj or whoever else it was? This sense used to be there. So then this sense used to be there that I wish I would be the first in a Sangha. I wish I would be the first in a Sangha. And little did I know that there would be a Sangha one day where I would be the first in it.
Yeah. There's such a sense of not knowing right now. And sometimes that's okay. There's a freedom in it. And then there's another level of scaredness, and be driving down the road and somebody keeps saying, where are we going? And I'd have to tell myself, well, we're going here, or we're going there. And it's just like, where are we going? And I finally stopped answering. I thought, okay, I'm not answering you anymore. I'm just going to drive.
Yes, this is good. You'll start enjoying this not knowing more and more. So, according to your schedule or calendar, you're supposed to walk right, but you're just walking left, not knowing why your feet are taking you left. You're wondering what's going on. You see? And then something reveals itself, or doesn't. Because I don't also want to give you this expectation that something miraculous will happen just if you follow our intuition. No, sometimes it's just meant to be that way.
Right. Well, it fits into this real surprise about not being with Amma right now. Because I've been with her since 2003. Every June she comes here. She has an ashram here. And I always go. I do seva. I know the people there. I performed for her one year, which was an amazing experience. And it's like, but here I am on my bed. I'm sitting on my bed with my computer talking to you guys. Like, wait a minute, what's wrong with this picture? And yet, I have to be here. Like, I have to be here. And I have to find the right position to sit in, and I have to be in the right room, and I have to have the lighting in just right the way. It's like, oh my God, I have to wear the right shirt. I'm like, okay, I have to, I have to dress the part. I was like, oh my God, what's going on here?
You see what I wear? I don't dress the part at all.
I know you don't. That's why I love you. Well, I just had to complain a little bit, I guess, today.
That's good. It's good to get all this out also sometimes.
Yeah.
Just know that it's very natural, very normal for all of this. Every time the sense happened here also, that I moved from one guru to another, there was this sense of guilt. What's happening? Are you just running away? But you promise you will be there forever. All of this will play. But then, as this whole doership is dropped, then you know that everything moves with this grace. You're not doing any of this. In fact, when we listened to how many of the Sangha members came, it was just they saw some post or some photo. Sometimes somebody just saw me in the audience in Guruji Satsang. I didn't know anything of any nothing. And something just felt like, who is this one? I want to be with him. You see, it can be like this. Of course, mostly it's like, who is this one? I don't want to be with him. That's what people saying. And both are fine. Both are fine. So basically, it's all good.
I guess I have to take it on faith. No, I feel like I had more faith in the beginning of when I started with you.
Yes.
It's been, I don't know, since the end of March, so about 2.5 months. I felt like I had a lot of faith, and then the faith is sort of, I don't know, it's changed or something.
Yes.
And that's the other thing is like I'm not doing it as well as I was before, and you're going to be disappointed because I'm not as successful. I don't know, whatever, all this crap.
I don't feel there's anyone in the Sangha who's been here for some time who will not be able to relate with what you're saying. All these ups and downs. Because initially when you come, you feel a connection, you feel so good. A lot of things can happen, strong burning can happen. Now, as it all starts to mellow down a bit, and you're coming to the quietness, the lightness of your being, with, of course, a little bit of this outward movement can happen. But the whole drama of it kind of reduces. It seems much more natural, much more relaxed, nothing much to report about. You'll find more and more this settling can happen.
Yeah, it's gotten pretty quiet. Oh boy. And I've gotten rid of 3 clients in the last week or 2. It's like, oh no, I'm not working with you guys anymore. Oh, you're out, gone. I fired one couple, other 2 I energetically just went, nope, not interested. I'm like, nope, I can't sit in the room with you guys anymore. Nope. So that's interesting. Just like, okay. I'm gonna have to trust that money's gonna flow as always and all that blah blah blah. On the other hand, I'm delighted with things, and my mother is 98 today, and we're planning a party this weekend, and so it's just there's so much blessing in that. It just feels so rich. Like, oh my God, she's 98 and doing well, and like, oh. I didn't hear what you said, but I hear everyone laughing.
No, I was just laughing at you saying, even last time you said something like that, but she's doing well.
Oh. It's not a bad, it's like, oh my God, she's doing so well at 98. We had a big talk about politics the other night. She's really doing great.
So please wish her from all of us very, very happy birthday.
Thank you.
And I know
Thank
she
you
said
so much.
that she wants to live till 100.
She does.
At least.
She does.
Amaya said something very nice, isn't it? She said that she's been experiencing this realm since 1918. Just imagine, since 1918.
Yes, 1918. She was born in 1918.
That's what 2 world wars, the Cold War,
the Vietnam War, the Korean War,
Moon landing.
Moon landing.
The moon landing, yes. The end of the building of the Berlin Wall, and the ending of the Berlin Wall.
JFK, everything. She's been through all of this. She's really enjoyed this movie.
And she still wants to see it. I'm going for 100. I want to see it. Like, okay. Yeah, she really outlived everybody in her generation in the family.
Muhammad Ali's burial.
Yes, it's really remarkable. Yeah. It's a blessing. It's a real blessing. As is the Sangha and as you. Thank you.
Yes, we also received the publication yesterday. And
good.
I read the piece. Very nice.
Thank you. Yeah. I wanted you guys
to see it. Thank you so much for sending it.
Yeah. I was very proud. I wanted to share it with you guys. Good.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Love you much.
Same. Okay. Prabha wanted to come, and also there's some chat. Come.
I don't know exactly what to say, but I've just been feeling like something's off.
Okay.
Past day or so.
Since?
Like past day or so. Like I've been believing some thoughts, like some strong doubts.
Nice. They seem strong. Usually the doubts can be about the words of the teacher, about the teacher themselves, or about yourself.
It's about myself. I never had any doubt. in like the truth that you're speaking.
And I have never had any doubt about yourself.
And I just feel like tired of.
What is the content of the doubt? What is it saying?
Sorry, I'm just also
No?
simultaneously having like
Yeah.
strong headache and
Nice.
things like that.
It's okay. Take your time. Is it okay? It's okay. Good.
I don't really feel like I don't have like a good capability of like discernment, and I'm like tired of like bringing like the same thing to you again and again, and I'm just like tired of everything I say.
Are you repetitive or something? What is the discernment that is confusing?
I brought the same thing up with you last time, and then I felt fine with it, and it's coming up again.
It's about that relationship thing?
It's just about everything. Like I just feel like I'm confused because like you were even just saying today how we doubt this truth because it's so simple. And I feel like that's what's happening. And I see the simplicity of it. I see that even in the midst of like doubt, everything that I'm there, I'm untouched by it. But I can't help but believe the thoughts because I have this insecurity that like that I'm not able to discern when I'm hiding, or I'm not able to discern when I'm making excuses and using like spiritual concepts to cover it up. And I'm not, like I can't discern when I'm believing thoughts and acting or when it's just happening naturally. I just feel like I don't even know when I'm believing thoughts anymore. Like I don't understand. And I just feel lost.
So first, know that all actions are happening as they are meant to. Don't carry this idea that am I acting like this because I'm believing my thoughts. See that actions are just another happening, just like thoughts are another happening. So then that will remove a lot of this guilt or trying to do it right or all of this. Then even this pointing, don't believe your next thought, or don't believe your thoughts, you leave it for me to do.
Okay.
Because sometimes this also becomes too much of a practice or something that I have to do or something. So even this, forget about it.
Okay.
All actions are happening, all thoughts are happening, and if belief is also going, let it be my problem. And what is the gray area in which you're not sure whether you're acting a particular way because of belief in thought or it's just happening? Is there a particular theme to this, or it's just generally?
It's like the same thing, and that's why I'm so tired of it. It's like there's still this feeling sometimes that comes up of wanting to like play or wanting to like do things that I haven't really allowed myself to express, and then it's the same thing, and I'm just tired of the same thing, and I'm tired of like spirituality, you know, and it feels inhibiting somehow. I feel inhibited. It's more I feel inhibited by my own spiritual concepts of like, and I keep saying this, but it's still there.
It can seem like, oh, because I have to be spiritual, therefore I have to be a certain way. I can't be as outgoing as I want to be, or something like this. Play out.
Like an example was like for like 3 years I've just been like sitting around like a lump, like not doing anything. And so now there's this desire to like work out and like all this stuff. And then every time before I work out, not every time, sometimes it just happens. It's literally just happening. But then there's this feeling, am I just believing a thought? Am I just trying to, and then I sit there and I inquire, not always, I like inquire and see that there's no one who wants to work out. But then I still do it. And I feel like I shouldn't be or something.
You shouldn't.
I feel like I shouldn't be. I just feel this feeling you shouldn't be doing anything that's not spiritual, like in what my mind sees it as. So yeah, that's just an example. One example.
Actually, you speaking this reminded me, how many teachers have I seen? There's a teacher called, he's still in the body, he might have left the body, or maybe he still is, sorry, I don't know. So the teacher called Sailor Bob Adamson. What was it? Sailor Bob? He's still there, okay. Sorry, Sailor Bob. So he was a disciple of Maharaj. He's very like chilled out, people just come to his house and they talk normally and things. But Sailor Bob Adamson was most likely in the 80s when I used to join his webcasts and things like this. And you know what his pastime was? Weightlifting, weight training, going to the gym. So even in the 80s, he was very well built. And he used to talk about it. He used to say that, oh, I enjoy my weight training. After this interaction, I'm going to go there. And as you were saying this, somehow I remembered that there used to be these doubts in my mind saying, but he's enlightened. Why does he focus on the body so much? And what is all this weight training about? Is it true that he's free? You know, these doubts would come. But then it became clear that the movement of the body, whether it is sitting around or whether it is moving, is all happening through the will of consciousness alone. We give too much importance to our idea of decision making because it's based on a sense of false doership actually. So if you see that actually it is just playing in the movie the way it is meant to, then this whole sense of whether I should be running on a treadmill or sitting on my bed, all of that loses its bite. Then we don't feel guilty for sitting, like you said, all that I've been doing last 3 years is sitting like a lump. It's not true. We've been discovering the self. Nothing better than that. Anyway, so that is the highest of what you could be doing anyway. But along with that, whether exercise needs to happen, not happen, you leave it to God, you leave it to your master to take care of. Then we're not feeling guilty about it, and neither are we feeling pride if it happens. These are just ways of the mind to try and retain your individual identity. Then for a few days, at least you're here till 15th. At least till 15th, you say it's all my father's problem. Just chill, enjoy Bangalore, enjoy Satsang, enjoy all of us.
Yeah, I feel like I'm very happy to give you this whole believing thought thing
Yes.
because I can't do it.
Yes. What's happening? Is something playing in your mind and it's leading to tears, or they're just coming?
I just feel like a mess.
Now, every time you hear these words, I'm just a mess. I know, I'm just a mess. it'll have some bite because there's some meaning which has been given to this. You're not a mess. You're just crying. Mess would be like if your head was lying somewhere there and See, even then I would not say you are a mess. Your body would be a mess, just all over the place. Yes, your ego might be a mess. Because it doesn't know what to do now. Yes, that's the job of satsang, is to mess up the ego. What else can be a mess? That is you.
I just feel like I'm not even capable of like understanding what you're saying. This whole satsang, like I don't know.
Yes, but in spite of that, so the body can be in a mess. Our sense of identity can be in a mess. What else can be in a mess?
Just like the emotions.
Emotions can be, yes.
Yeah.
Emotions and
Mostly
thoughts,
yeah,
everything can be all messed up. Then what else?
There's
I'm
this
as sneaky as the mind. Because I'll use even the mess to get you to inquire.
whenever you speak of like the surrender, just like giving it all to you, it's like there's nothing more I want than that, because there's been a tendency, like I guess more taking it all on myself, figuring it out, and more inquiring. Even though recently I'm not inquiring so much, but that's like all I want is just to give it to you. But there's this like a fear, a doubt, or something. Yeah, just like what Lucia said, like this like thing that you're just making excuses. You're just like, oh, it's so nice to just be able to surrender everything, but like you're
He's
just
using it as an Advaita excuse.
Exactly, like that keeps just coming up. Like I don't know if I'm doing
so
that
let's
or
look
not.
at the sequence of events.
Yeah.
Father, I surrender everything to you.
Mm-hmm.
And the next thing that comes is you're making excuses. So what are you supposed to do with that? Give it to me.
That just sounds so like crazy to just give it up.
That's how it is. Because if you don't even give me the first thing that comes, then what is the surrender about?
Also, I'm totally consistent, like you said.
Yeah,
Like I can surrender for one day, and then the next day I'm just going to take everything back and take it on
At
myself.
least you'll have a nice day.
Yeah. Yeah, I take everything as like there's a lot of like guilt and responsibility or something for my state. Like you believe some thoughts, and so now you're feeling like this or something.
Believe more thoughts about believing thoughts will never
Yeah.
help you. It's the 1-2 punch. It's the dessert after the starters or the main course. It's just like this, isn't it? You buy one thing, you eat the salad. I don't know whether I'm believing my thoughts or not. How is this happening? Seems pretty harmless actually.
Yeah.
It starts off, I don't know whether I'm believing, is this coming from belief in thought? Then it says, see, now you're doing it again. Just using Advaita excuses to be a lazy lump, which is the main hamburger.
Mm-hmm.
Then, see, now I always do this. I'm stuck in this thing, and nothing is helping me. I don't know how to not believe my thoughts also. I don't know how to surrender also. Everything. I deserve. Then you take on this perspective of the unworthy seeker or the stuck spiritual seeker or something. All because we had that one starter.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know whether this was coming from belief in thought or not.
Yeah.
Forget it.
Okay.
Just yesterday we were speaking about this, how that just one thought can just seem like it becomes an avalanche of things.
And then I lost my phone, and then I got really upset about that. I just got it.
You just got a new phone and you lost it.
Yeah, I haven't had a smartphone in like 4 years, and I decided I would get one, and then I lost it in like a month.
Where? Here? Somewhere you
Yeah,
went
somewhere
down?
in a tuk-tuk. It's gone. Yeah, it's like, that would be great to just surrender everything, right?
Yes.
And there's this voice that's like, how can I be sure that if I surrender it, that it'll get taken care of?
Yes. You got so much on his plate already.
That just seems like lazy or something. Or how do then? Sorry, I still feel like it's not answered. Then how do I know if I'm not just making excuses? Shouldn't I inquire? I don't know.
Okay. So, with no excuses, what is here right now?
I'm just witnessing.
Now, if they're just witnessing here right now, what do you have to do to make the witnessing become lazy?
Nothing.
Cannot become. Then who can become?
There's like an identity of someone who's,
Where is it?
it doesn't exist, it's just in thought. But it's like someone, a thought about I'm someone who is either believing thoughts or not believing thoughts, and I'm doing well or I'm not doing well.
Okay, so now we are coming to the root of the confusion, isn't it? Because the instruction, don't believe your next thought, is for who? Who has the power of belief?
Like I guess the being has the power of belief.
Okay, so if the person itself is a belief, can a belief have the power of belief?
No.
No. So like you said, that it must be this being itself which has the power of belief. Now when you say, I don't know whether I'm doing it right or wrong, who are you speaking as?
As a spiritual seeker.
This one has no power to believe or not believe.
No, because it's just a thought.
Then can you do it right or wrong as a spiritual seeker?
Still feels like yes. Even though I see that and I've seen that like there's no spiritual seeker, there's no like
There's nobody who has a power of belief. And yet the power of belief is here, which belongs to consciousness itself.
yeah.
So when we say, I'm doing it right or wrong, therefore we must be referring either to nobody or to consciousness.
There's still like a strong belief in the spiritual seeker who needs to do it right, even though and I feel like I mentally reinforce it every time I hear anything spiritual. And then it's like this thing you say about prolonging the journey, about some here, some here. I feel like, oh, I'm doing that or something, and then I just feel like I'm doing everything wrong as a spiritual seeker.
Because the spiritual seeker does not exist. In a way, for it to survive, it takes everything it hears, including the words of satsang, into its own basket of concepts. Even the pointing, don't believe your next thought, there is so much belief about this, whether it should be done this way or not, or how. So that also has become like a ground for more and more spiritual concepts to come. But like I've been saying that now, in the now, you start without any concepts. It's true or not? Unless you think about it now. You're empty of concept. So let it all go. It's gone already actually. There is nothing that you as a seeker you have to do. All of this which is being shared in satsang is not for you. You want a particular outcome for this one? You want the seeker to become enlightened?
I just want to, like, drop spirituality. I'm just tired of it.
You want to throw the baby out with the bathwater? You see? So the bathwater became old, the spiritual seeker has become old. Let's throw that out first. Then if you want to throw spirituality out, we'll throw it together.
I mean, what does that even mean, spirituality? Like, what is it?
Is this question coming from the seeker?
No, like,
Okay, let me speak at both the levels so you can see where it was coming from. So to a spiritual seeker, spirituality means getting more and more beautiful spiritual concepts. Beautiful mental understanding, intellectual understanding.
I don't want that.
You don't want
I don't want it.
So that in the letting go of all of these spiritual concepts, it is the end of the spiritual seeker.
And experiences.
Yeah? And experience.
And I don't want those either. I'm totally fine with feeling like a mess and feeling pain and all of these things. Like, I wasn't fine a few months ago, but now it's okay, and it doesn't, like, I recognize that becoming awake isn't gonna change that, and I'm fine with it. I don't need the spiritual experience.
Very good. So all of this kept aside, actually the non-entity only seems like it exists when these concepts seem to still have some meaning for us. The spiritual concepts, now we kept them aside. Then what is spirituality? Then spirituality is just this sharing about what is, not conceptually, right? Using some words of course to communicate, but not as if, okay, we are going to learn something new, we're going to become better at something. Just naturally getting together and sharing about what is. It's just like, oh, how is this flower? How is this computer? How is this chair? What is here? Sense of being is here. Yes, the being is here. And I witness even this being is seen. Just like this. So this is what we're doing. We're just sharing about what is this, what is, without trying to learn, understand, progress, become awake. So from the perspective of spirit, spirituality is just expressing what is. From the perspective of the spiritual seeker, it is trying to find out more and more spiritual concepts. That's why when we come to this point where we are saying only what we are seeing, and we are not saying what our feelings are, we are not saying what our thoughts are, because that is giving voice to this appearance, giving more meaning to the appearance than it deserves. So now to see this, we said there are two approaches. One is that whatever is appearing, whatever thought is appearing, you surrender it. Not my problem. Second is to say, who is witnessing this? It's the same thing actually, because we are not attaching to that which is appearing.
The first option sounds a lot better.
Yes. So when the thought comes, am I being lazy? Is this just a Advaita in this, right? All of this can be handed over. Take it up with my father.
And if I just keep doing that,
Yeah.
like, everything will be fine.
Yes. Moment of disbelief there. You don't have to believe it. You just play with it.
Yeah.
Play with it and see.
There's something also sometimes this mood comes over that's like deeply cynical or something cynical and distrusting and disbelief and I don't know, yeah, like a cynicism or something. And like I see it in my family too, like it's like a cultural thing or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Cynicism is very much a part of this experience in this realm. I was deeply cynical of all things satsang. You know this. My parents, when they would go for satsang, I would say, you go to your sad song, it's nothing actually, it's a waste of time.
There's this whole like do things that are fun. Like I used to dance a lot, and so sometimes I want to go out like dancing and things like that. And then I feel like there's this inner conflict or something. Like, oh, now you're giving allegiance to your mind because you want to do these things, and I feel like I'm not. Yeah, something's off there, and I don't know anymore if I'm. Yeah. So
if you now you're like a call center agent whose only job is to say, take it up with my boss. I have this problem. What about the dancing thing? I feel like dancing. Sorry, I'm not authorized to reply to you today. Take it up with my boss. That is surrender. Ring, my keyboard not working. Take it up with my boss. I have lost all privileges to provide solutions to your problems. You can say that to the mind. Everything is, I have to go to my supervisor now. Should I go dancing or not? Am I hiding behind an excuse? But I really feel like take it up with my father. This is just an excuse. Now you're just making excuses. Just making excuses. What do you say?
take it up with my
Very good. It'll come very seriously. Just you're making Advaita excuses.
Yeah.
And Ananta said, don't make Advaita excuses. You're making them. What do you say?
Take it up.
Yeah.
Okay, I can do that.
Yeah. My mind will come and say, are you sure this will work? Take it up with my father.
Yeah, that just happened.
Anyway, that most of all this call center, customer support is happening from Bangalore now. So you outsource your mind's complaints to me.
Okay.
The job as the responder to your mind has been outsourced to Bangalore.
Okay. Good. Because it's really heavy. It's really serious and really like always, yeah, just like doing it bad or doing it wrong.
If it was nothing, then why would anybody outsource anything?
Yeah.
Have you been Bangalore now?
I've
There's a
been-
term now to be outsourced to Bangalore.
Mhm.
In Silicon Valley, I believe there's a term, you've been Bangalore.
Oh wow.
What?
Nothing. Can I just sit here?
Yes?
Thank you so much.
Good. Okay, let me just see one or two questions that were there in the chat. Anna said, I don't know whether she's still there, but she said, Anantaji, the no energy to conduct anything state you just explained. I have been in it for many, many years. It was passive in the beginning. Later years, it became impossible to conduct normal work. I have been letting go and following the flow. But it is affecting the financial status now, while the energy is still not coming. Would you shed some light on this for me? I am most grateful. This is one of the most common seeming problems that we have on this path. Guruji talks about it. He said also that his fear was that he'll become the Quasimodo style beggar on the street. Here also there was this fear because there is there are children, there is a family to take care of. So it's very natural for this fear to come. But the reassurance from Guruji is that nobody who has discovered the self has ever said, I would rather give this back and instead give me a lot of money. Just yesterday we were hearing a song which said from the great Indian sage Kabir, who said, I'm finding so much joy in my poverty. I don't want this life of a rich person. I'm enjoying being a fakir. As long as you're not doing as the doer, nor are you not doing as the doer. This is a bit subtle, because non-doership does not mean not doing. It doesn't mean the doing either. We are not to do the doing nor do the not doing. We are just to remain neutral and allow the life force the life energies to play out by themselves. What does it mean to allow the life force and life energy to play out by itself? It doesn't mean that you can disallow it in any way. It only means that we are not thinking about it. So what is to be done will be done. What is not to be done will never be done. And all of this is the play of consciousness. It has nothing to do with Anna. It has nothing to do with the decisions that you make, the seeming choices that you make. All of that is just mythical. There can be no will for one who does not exist. Therefore, the concept of free will itself is flawed. Because whose free will would it be? The non-existent one? The one that we cannot find this person? How can one that doesn't exist have anything at all? All that is here belongs only to God, to consciousness. Therefore, the will that is here is also God's. And all will be done through God's will. So have no fear about poverty or richness. Have no idea about how life should go. Whatever it is, let it be. Whether a lot of action, activities happening through the body or nothing. There is no individual doer of them. I feel also it's a good time to clarify what do we mean by Advaita excuse. Because what it means is that God pretending to be a person, then this person pretending to be God is Advaita excuse. God pretending to be the person who is then pretending to be God is Advaita excuse. See, that means we are using spiritual concepts and saying that the person itself is now God. Unwilling to look at the non-existence of the person, keeping up just using spiritual concepts, the pretense of Godhood. This is where the use of spiritual concepts. See, is what? God, of course. Everything is. But God pretending to be the person, pretending to be God. What is true? What is true spirituality? God dropping the pretense of personhood. So when there is a reliance on concepts, when there is an attachment to our perspective of the truths, then you see that it is the person clutching on, hanging on to these concepts of spirituality to try to pose as God. So God posing as a person, posing as God. No wonder it's such a high state of suffering.
Me and the Papa were talking about this the other day.
Take a mind.
Yeah, we were talking about this the other day, how we both kind of felt like we went through this phase of like keeping up appearances,
Yes.
of like, I mean, I can only speak from my own experience, but it wasn't a concept for me. It was like an experience that I'd had, and then there was a holding on to that experience and feeling like I couldn't drop that because then I would have done something wrong spiritually. So it was like a keeping up an appearance of having that seeing. But why is it that people pretend to be enlightened? Like, why is that such a like a theme? And then you can sense it when someone's just like speaking through a concept. Why do we do that? And like, because surely that's not what we're here for. We're not here to pretend to be enlightened. We're here for freedom, to free ourselves from the suffering. So why do we see it so much in these circles that people just pretend?
From what I've seen, I can say that once the spiritual seeker becomes so tired and tiring, then it is dropped. The giving up happens, and you see that what is, just is. The truth just is. See? But to this tired spiritual seeker, the mind can also offer up a solution, which is to say that there is nothing to be done, nothing has ever happened. You are awake, you are enlightened. Same thing that we say in Satsang. See? But the mind can offer it up. And the spiritual seeker, the pose of the spiritual seeker can then take on this pose of being the enlightened person who has discovered that there is nothing to be done. So when this seeking becomes tiring, then because of the suffering of this tiredness, we take on something which we think will help with this tiredness, which is to be this. Everybody is always enlightened. There is no enlightenment. Like these kind of concepts, and just pick them up and say that this is the end of my search, and I have become free now of all of this, because all of this was just mythical. See, the words are still true. They sound exactly like the words in Satsang, but actually it is taken on just conceptually as a refuge from this never-ending seeming seeking. So instead, what happens when this spiritual seeker is drawn is that the refuge is not in any concept, is not in the new understanding of some words. See? It is more in the dropping of all that is conceptual. So what happens mostly for those who have just taken it on as a persona, this Advaita stuff as just concepts, then usually what you will find is the minute you start to question them, you start becoming either very angry or very defensive. You see? Because something knows that this is on thin ground. Because it's just concepts, and there's a deeper recognition that it's just concept, but they're so tired of being the seeker that they don't want this veneer to be taken apart. So they'll either attack you and say, you don't know what you're talking about, you won't realize my state, who are you to talk to me? See, like that? Or just they'll walk away from you, not want to talk to you, because there's a fear of getting back into that suffering seeker identity. So then at that point, actually, it's usually not worthwhile to try and engage and to say, because they're not open to that. Because then the veneer of this will also go, and then it feels like, oh, I don't want to go back to that seeker again. I don't want to be a disciple again. I don't want to be a devotee again. I've taken on this idea that there is no doer, there's no enlightenment, there's no world, there's nothing. And I'm happy to latch on to this because it saves me from my insecurities, seemingly. But as we go along, and so this I'm able to share these things because they happened here. And they were smashed away when life gave me the events where the business was going down. There were a lot of fights happening in the business, and then relationship troubles, all was coming up. None of this helped to say to myself, oh, none of this is real. nothing has ever happened. It's not helping. And there's so much suffering because of that. Even more than the seeking suffering was the aura of trying to be this, the personality of trying to be the spiritually enlightened person that was undergoing so much more suffering. Then came this conclusion that it's all rubbish. All my spiritual frameworks, all the ideas I have about this are not helping anything, therefore have no value to me. And then it was seen that the only value that these words have is to remove all concepts, dislodge concepts, to get free of these. That's why it plays out. Why do we engage in that? Because we're tired of the seeking, we're tired of this suffering of the seeker, and we want some final conclusion to this. We want to be able to say, see, I got enlightened.
Thank you. That's really made something very clear as to what was happening previously. Where like getting an insight we're seeing, and then something would want to hold on to that, and because there was still a belief that I could do something to lose it. So then it was like this keeping up an appearance of like that. But
there's this great fear of anyone, including the master, poking you. Then, is it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yes, yes.
No, you are not getting it, please, or something like that. Just any sort of defense.
Yeah.
And now it's like just not reliant on any concept. Okay? So if someone says, don't believe your next thought doesn't work, okay, doesn't work. It's another concept. Throw it away. Are you aware now? Doesn't work. Okay, doesn't work. So there's no attachment to these things. It might seem like there's an inquiry that can happen if you come like that, but even that is not meant to keep up the value of some concept, just to see if there's some blind spots. That is how it is used. We're much more free. We're not fearful about what we're believing ourselves to be. It needs no belief, the truth.
Thank you just for making it so clear, because for so long I was just so confused. Even after seeing, in that flash that I don't exist, there was still this belief. Even after that I could still do something wrong. There was still obviously belief in this person. It just made it so clear that actually even this going in and going out is just totally nothing I can.
Just a movement within consciousness, just like everything else.
And there's also, it's so clear that when the identification happens, that's completely great by the truth of what I am. Like that's what it wants to do. It doesn't feel like that all the time, but it's like I really feel like I know that it's all okay. Like the play of it all, and the falling into the heavy identifications, and it's just. It's not okay when I identify, but
it's still ultimately it's okay.
Yeah, it's just God really just wanted to play with that.
Okay, last one, because my phone has been buzzing up the whole.
Thank you. I was really so silent, some real saying something about real things. And I was observing many things in the body, and also there are some interesting things. It's amazing what happens energetically in my body. It reminds me that perhaps it's also a distraction because I'm feeling not so much the emotions, it seems that I'm losing the interest or the will about some emotions and some thoughts. They just exist and I cannot do nothing. Just don't believe and somehow this is happening and I'm feeling more and more in the body. What I feel is like openness. In the sense I'm feeling surround. I'm very mental, but I have not so much this thing of be a seeker. I found by temperament I am completely devotional. It doesn't seem because I'm so mental. And it's very beautiful because in India and in Satsang with you that are Indian, it's coming more and more this thing about Jesus Christ near you. And sometimes the perception that you are like Jesus Christ and I am like Jesus Christ, but there are this frontier that I feel in the body. And the last time I talked to you, it was coming like a shine or like a and now it was so off. I don't know if this is important because I'm losing sometimes the capacity or to the effort of talk. My body is so exhausted that talk is effortless and think is effortless. It's like the desire of calm or inside you are when I express behind the talk is just this desire and these functions of goes through this filter. And what was coming it was this thing about the Course in the Miracles when I had the last secret was a woman. And I found her after I found Guruji. Also this attachment kind of it was a teacher in the Course in the Miracles. And I was sometimes finding her very mental and fighting with her. And now I'm so grateful. And I must find her too. Because she was like pretending also to be an enlightenment being. And sometimes somehow I perceive coincidence. So obviously they were talking, I was not understanding nothing. But I perceived energetically, I was perceiving energetically, and there are some synchronicities. But I'm losing the capacity of expression because she was talking to me about the first thing that comes with ego is the will about to be apart. Like this idea, I was innocent, I'm nice, I want to, I forgot, and I was very angry when he was catching me by mind. And I was perceiving this with you. And it was, I need to express that it was just a big relief because this will that feels through you and it's shine. Every human being somehow feels this. I'm not you. I'm not like the worst. When we feel apart, it seems that we are like every fighting with God. And
Please remind me about this guilt. You can talk about the story of the prodigal son, as in the course.
Yes, I had in this thing. It's curious because when I did what in Catholic Church called there are first when I was 5 years old, there were the first ceremony of like the sacrament, the body of Christ. I don't have the words in English. And big group was here about my problem with Jesus Christ of this stuff of Catholic Church. And, okay, it was my karma, but now I'm here for me. It is that perhaps this karma. It was a story. Oh, I'm feeling dissolving like in energy. But there was a second ceremony like this, and after I became a part of Catholic Church. And like a rebellion about institutions. But I liked a lot the stories about Jesus Christ. And to be able to do this ceremony, I needed to, my exam was to tell the story of the son.
Oh yes, the prodigal son.
And I remember it was like a symbol of my whole life. And here it's coming. And also this idea of be out of paradise is, now this was I was not talking about, but this thing that came, the Course in the Miracles came in my life before founding Guruji, and also this psychotherapist came after. And I'm perceiving that I was leaving her, I was finding I was like better, my gosh, this arrogance. And she was doing the best she could, also trying to manipulating my need of a mother. but I'm perceiving that every person as so precious, you know. I'm perceiving so much. Also, mind is trying to get it, and I'm losing mine. And now a big relief came in my heart, saying, "Thank you, Father," because I'm so ashamed when I say I love you. You can't ashamed this about guilt because I did awful things in here. Not so, and you feel so innocent. You think complete innocence. And I know I can return to this through you, to this innocence of so grateful. Because when I talk, it's like space is open. It's just what I need, not to talk. Also, it's mind fighting because you don't need to.
I don't feel actually that you're very mental. I know that you refer to the mind often, but I don't feel you're so attached to what the mind is saying.
No, never. I never was in my life. It was the way of surviving. In fact, this strong mind, the second way is very strong stage of my life was Christ training. I know this, but I have a lot of mental arrogance concerning everyone is burning inside. But I'm giving it to you because if I say I don't like this arrogance, I'm allowing it. It's not another arrogance, and I must perceive it was also a rule. It's nothing itself. Because my mind comes back. Sometimes I'm losing this need of feel intelligent or sensitive or this kind of thing. But I want to go to this devotion. Thank you, Father. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you all so very much for being in Satsang today. Sadhguru Shri Mujiji ki
Jai. Sadhguru Shri Ananta Ji ki Jai.
Okay, I see some questions which I wasn't able to take. We'll take them tomorrow. Oh, okay. The next Satsang. Thank you, Devi, for moderating today. Thank you. We can end the broadcast now.